Alright guys, I'm going to do problem 1821 using the Fifo method. So it's a Fifo method with spoilage. This is a comprehensive problem from 17 and 18. It incorporates all the changes to a production cost worksheet. It has the Fifo method as opposed to the weighted average method, and it has spoilage versus no spoilage. So there are four major changes that you have to do to this production cost worksheet in order to get a correct figure. The first change is you have to add in these two lines for normal and abnormal spoilage. The second change is you have to differentiate between you have to add these two lines to differentiate between what was from the beginning inventory and what was started and completed. The third major change is you have to use this formula and then to compute EUP. And the fourth change is when computing the cost per EUP, you must omit this beginning work in process inventory line and carry it down to the bottom rather than including it in your calculation for the cost per EUP. So I'll go through this problem and I'll try to highlight all the changes that we're doing because this is the most difficult problem. So the first thing to do is get your format down. You have to know that this is the most complicated problem and it has all of these changes. So you'll have to know how to create the worksheet. After you've done that, we can go ahead and put in the units. So we have 1350 for our beginning work in process inventory. Started in January, they don't give it to us, so we're gonna have to go down here, and it says completed and transferred out. Good units completed and transferred out is 8,800, but we need to know how many was from the beginning inventory and how many were started and completed. Well, we know our beginning inventory is 1350, so that means this has to equal 8,800 minus this. Okay, then they give us normal spoilage 80. They give us abnormal spoilage 50. Ending work in process 1700. Okay, these add up. These add up to 10,630. So that has to be 10,630. So this equals this minus this. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is now we have to calculate the EUP using this formula. So what I like to do is I like to place the degree of completion for the beginning work in process here at the top, and then I like to place the degree of completion for the ending work in process down here at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's 100% for direct material, so that's 1, and then for conversion cost it's 45, so 0.45. And then it's 100% for direct materials, and then here it's 35%, 0.35. Okay, so now to calculate the EUP, we follow this formula right here. For the top line, we use the top formula and the top number. So that equals the top number multiplied by 1 minus the top percentage. Equals top number multiplied by 1 minus, okay, and it's 0 because 1 minus 1 is 0. All right, same thing here. This equals top number multiplied by 1 minus the top percentage. Okay, now for all these middle numbers right here, we're going to use this middle formula. So all we have to do is carry the number over. It's just equal to the number. 7450, 7450, 80, 80, 50, 50. And for this bottom number, we're going to use the bottom formula. So that equals the number multiplied by the bottom number multiplied by the bottom percentage. Okay, and this equals the bottom number multiplied by the bottom percentage. Okay, and that gives us our total EUP. Okay, now we have to come down here to the cost section. Because this is a FIFO problem, we're going to omit this beginning work in process inventory number from our EUP, cost per EUP calculation. So I'm going to place them in there, but I'm not going to total that number whenever I come down here to get a total. So this is 966, and this is 711. And this is 10302, and this is 30055, and this is equal to this. Notice I'm omitting it from the total, and this is equal to this, omitting that number from the total as well. Now we'll get a total over here. Okay, and this number, it says omit and carry down, so we're just going to put 1677 here. Okay, now it says divide by total EUP. The total EUP is equal to this. This is equal to this. So cost per EUP equals this, divided by this, and this equals this total cost right here, divided by total EUP. Okay, now all we have to do to get the cost, the remaining cost, is take this cost per EUP and multiply it by the EUP for each one of these numbers. So for the beginning inventory is cost per EUP multiplied by beginning inventory 0. Okay, this equals cost per EUP multiplied by started and completed. This equals cost per EUP multiplied by normal spoilage. This equals cost per EUP multiplied by abnormal spoilage. And this equals cost per EUP multiplied by ending work in process. And that equals the sum there. This equals cost per EUP multiplied by beginning. This equals cost per EUP multiplied by started and completed. And this equals cost per EUP multiplied by normal spoilage. This equals cost per EUP multiplied by abnormal spoilage. This equals cost per EUP multiplied by ending work in process. Auto sum those. Auto sum those. And then this equals this auto sum. Okay. And so let me just take a quick look at my notes to make sure I'm giving you the correct answers. This equals this. This equals this. And this, let's see. This equals, actually, I didn't add in the 1677, so that's why it's not the same. So if I did this, 4203, they equal. So because I omitted and they didn't equal, but these numbers they look correct. 1877, and they do match the ones that the numbers that I have in our notes. So they seem to be correct. So this is the most comprehensive and probably the most difficult problem. It incorporates all the changes. You have to add lines in for the spoilage, then you have to add lines in for the difference in a Fifo method. So if you can do this problem and you can follow along, you'll probably be just fine on the test. So I hope this helps, guys. Good luck.